You're already halfway through the corridor when the locker begins to breathe. It exhales softly, just behind your left ear, the way a memory might if it still had lungs. The sound is like wet paper being torn very slowly, very politely. And though your feet have not moved since you entered, the hallway behind you has grown longer, more echoing, like it's had time to consider your presence and has begun to accommodate it. The lights above you hum with a colour that doesn't quite exist, greenish yellow, like candlelight passed through hospital curtains. You keep walking. You don't remember why you came here, but you do remember the shape of the locker. Number 12, slightly bent on the bottom corner, the paint peeled away like it was ashamed of something it used to say. The floor is cold linoleum, the kind that sticks a little when you lift your shoes, as if it's thinking about keeping you. You inhale, and the air tastes like chalk, metal, and the inside of old batteries. The kind you used to suck on as a child for reasons that no longer make sense now. There it is, locker 12, waiting. It hasn't moved, but you get the sense it's been pacing without walking, shifting anxiously inside its hinges. Its number is smeared with something oily and dark. A faint outline of a handprint near the latch, small and childlike, or maybe ancient. Your fingers rise before you tell them to. The metal is warm, and it opens. Not all at once, but slowly, like a wound remembering how it was made. Inside, it is darker than it should be. No books, no papers. Just that overwhelming scent of attic and salt, of rain that never fell. And there, scrawled deep into the metal back wall, is your name. Your full name. Spelled perfectly, even the secret middle part. You don't remember ever telling anyone that. Your hand reaches toward the back of the locker, but the depth is impossible. Your fingers disappear into the black. You feel a softness that gives way slightly, like breath. And suddenly, you're no longer standing, but falling forward slowly, gently, as if someone is cradling you in reverse. Welcome to Whispers Beyond Midnight. The phrase is not spoken, not even heard, but it surrounds you, the way a pillow does when it muffles a scream you forgot was yours. You are being pulled through something, not solid, not liquid, more like memory, but stretched thin, strung out along breath. There are flashes, a motel room with the door ajar, a road slick with oil-sheen rain, headlights blinking like closed eyes, and somewhere, distant but closing fast, a radio tuning itself to the frequency of your heartbeat. The locker door slams behind you. Or maybe it never does. Maybe you are the locker now. You feel the latch growing in your throat, the hinges setting in your spine. Your breath fogs forward, and in it you catch a reflection. Not yours, but familiar, staring back from a mirror that isn't here, that has never been here. You try to move. You do not move. But the world begins to shift anyway. The hallway you once stood in reconfigures itself in silence, stretching toward a place you recognize only from dreams you never remembered upon waking. Everything begins to quiet. No alarms, no bells, just the hum of the ceiling light above you, flickering softly. Inward. The air smells like lost letters, like a drawer left ajar, like static, if static had a scent. You feel the shape of your name pressed into your palm, warm and pulsing, as if you just pulled it out of something living. You don't know why that comforts you, but it does. And from somewhere beneath the floorboards, something breathes back. You're already mid-step when you realise the floor is no longer solid. It flexes just slightly beneath you, like a membrane stretched too thin over something alive and listening. The hallway does not end. It simply continues in both directions now, stretching like rubber through fog, glistening with a damp sheen that wasn't there before. There is no colour here, only the idea of it. You move forward, though you can't say which way that is anymore. Left feels like forward, back feels like breath. The walls hum faintly with something that isn't electricity, but rather a memory of it, like the buzz of an unplugged television still echoing after you've left the room. Then it comes. A pulse. Beneath your feet. Subtle, like the heartbeat of something buried, something enormous and dreaming. You pause. It pauses with you. The static is deeper now. Thicker. It doesn't hiss like normal static. It inhales, and when it exhales, it does so through the vents lining the bottom of the lockers, each one sighing just slightly, almost imperceptibly. But you hear it, because it says your name. No, not says. It thinks it, just under the range of speech, like a warmth pressed against your spine. You keep walking. There's a flicker ahead, like a flame behind glass, trembling as though someone were crying too close to it. You pass locker 14. It is sealed shut with red twine. You pass locker 15. It is humming. But locker 16 is missing. In its place, a mirror. A full-length, frame-free mirror, affixed where metal should be. Its edges melting into the wall like it has always belonged. It doesn't reflect the hallway behind you. It reflects something else. A room you almost remember. A motel? No, not quite. The floor is made of yellow linoleum, cracked in the shape of teeth. A ceiling fan rotates in slow, jerking loops, blades twitching like insect wings. And there's someone standing in that room, facing the mirror. But it's not you, not quite. It wears your height, your haircut, your posture. But the hands are wrong, longer, too thin, fingers slightly curved inward like hooks. It tilts its head at you. You do not move. It does. You move. It watches. The reflection lifts a hand, and your hand does not follow. The mirror breathes fog across its centre, and as it clears, the reflection smiles. Lips pull back with a slowness meant only for sleep paralysis and toothaches. You feel the smile before you see it, a dull ache behind your molars, a coldness in your gums. You look down. Your feet have sunken slightly into the floor. No, not floor, surface. The tile beneath you has become softer, like you're standing on wet wallpaper. It puckers slightly when you shift your weight. Beneath the membrane, the static inhales again. Deeper now. Hungrier. There's a locker beside you that wasn't there before. Its number has been scratched off, but you know what it is. You know. It's yours. The handle is wrapped in black fabric, like a mourning band. You do not reach for it. Not yet. Not again. Instead, you listen. The radio. It's coming from inside the wall now. A faint, flickering voice just beneath your left shoulder blade, broadcasting at the same rhythm as your pulse. Click. Hiss. Return to the hallway. Click. Bring what you forgot. Click. And the floor remembers everything you dropped. You try to look behind you. There is no behind you. Only the sense of something there. Watching. Smiling. waiting for you to misstep so it can take your place. You realize then that your name is no longer in your mouth. It's been taken, stripped gently like lint from a sweater. You try to recall it, but all that returns is a sound, soft, wet and final. The mirror fogs again. This time when it clears, the reflection is writing something on the glass with a finger you do not recognize. Words appear in reverse. It's not your first time here. You stagger back or forward. There's no distinction anymore. The static beneath the floor sharpens. It no longer inhales. It tastes. And you realize that everything under your feet, beneath the tile, under the steel, through the bone of this place, is made of breath, trapped breath, held for years. And the moment you forget how to hold your own, you'll become part of it. By the time you blink, the mirror is gone. But the after image clings to your retinas like dust on old slides. Those flickering, plastic transparencies you'd watch in childhood, projected against motel walls while the radiator hummed lullabies behind your grandmother's cough. The room would glow in amber rings, and for a moment you'd forget where the real world ended and the shadows began. That's what this feels like now, as though you never left that room, as though the mirror never left you. The hallway stretches again, or maybe you shrink. The edges curl upward slightly, like the walls are trying to fold closed around you. Locker 12 waits in silence behind your thoughts, its door shut now but breathing inward. Slow, patient. You hear something. A laugh, soft and sugarless, echoing from around the corner. Not ahead, not behind, within. It belongs to your grandmother. Except you don't remember her laugh. Only the way she smelled. Rose lotion and dust, the scent of things held too tightly inside drawers. But this laugh knows you. It tugs a thread beneath your collarbone, the same thread that tied your name to the inside of that locker. It pulls, and the floor smiles. Not visibly, not cartoonishly, but emotionally. It smiles the way something smiles just before it teaches you a lesson. The light above you flickers, not outward, inward, as if the filament were twisting into itself, retreating from illumination. The world dims, and for a moment you see it clearly, not with your eyes, but with the residue of them. The corridor is breathing, not just the floor, the walls. Every locker has grown lungs, deep and slow, exhaling mist that clings low to the ground like fog off a drowned road. The ceiling begins to glisten, not with water, with memory. Photographs you've never taken are forming there, blurry, wet negatives etched in light. You glimpse one, a child at 3:33 a.m. standing barefoot outside a locked door. You glimpse another, a suitcase twitching open on its own in a motel closet. You glimpse a third, your own face, but with your grandmother's mouth, and then the mirror is back. It slides from the wall like it's always been there, as though the building merely inhaled it into hiding and has now returned it for your inspection. This time, it's smiling first. No face, no reflection, just a wide, closed-lipped smile stretched across the middle of the glass, warping slightly with each blink. It's not drawn, not carved. It is the mirror, and as you stare, it begins to open, revealing not teeth, but familiarity. A breath you forgot you'd taken, a road you forgot you'd left, a voice you forgot you borrowed. The smile expands, and for a moment, it pulses in sync with your heartbeat. You don't know how you know this, but you do. Like knowing how a key feels before you hold it. Like remembering a name just before someone says it. A shape emerges in the mirror now. Not a person. Not yet. A shadow with posture. It watches you not with eyes, but with the idea of eyes. You're still. Because if you move, the reflection might too. It raises a hand, your hand, but the fingers are gloved in something black, glistening with rain that drips upward. The hand opens. Inside the palm is a clock. Not drawn, not held, embedded. Its hands spin lazily, stopping over and over on 3:33. Every time it ticks, you feel it in your chest. You try to back away. The floor forgets how to support you. It sags just slightly, like a mattress left too long in the rain. You stagger, fall inward. But the fall is slow, like a dream. Like those dreams where gravity is optional and breath is negotiable. Your arms reach for nothing. Your voice does not follow. And as you fall, the mirror leans forward to catch you. Not your body, just your intention. And there, whispered beneath the motion, comes her voice again. "Sweet one," she says gently, as if tucking you in. "I left something inside the mirror for you, but you mustn't take it out loud." You open your mouth to speak, but your words are moths now. They flutter from your throat, wings soft with sleep dust, vanishing before they land. The mirror smiles wider. The hallway vanishes behind the glass. And for one beautiful moment, you are no longer afraid, just held, reflected, returned. You don't hear the rain at first. You feel it tickling your skin in reverse, like pins gently lifted from your arms, your neck, your cheeks. The sensation creeps slowly across you, not downward like weather, but upward, like memory surfacing through sleep. A drop glides along your jawline, cold and patient, before lifting away toward the ceiling. You tilt your head to follow its ascent, and only then do you see what's happening. It's raining, but not from above. The water rises in elegant tendrils, swirling up from the ground in silence, like ink unfurling inside a weightless ocean. The hallway remains, stretching both ways in uncertain vanishing points, but now it is filled with shimmering, inverted rain. Droplets push past your arms, your legs, your chest, never striking, only brushing, as though trying to remember your shape by feel alone. Locker 12 remains closed, but wet, beaded with reverse dew, its surface slick not from condensation, but from something beneath the metal, something sweating upward. Its latch pulses faintly. You do not touch it, not yet. The air is different now. It no longer carries scent, only taste. Metal, salt, and the aftershock of tears you haven't cried in years. You try to swallow, but your mouth is filled with the memory of saying goodbye too many times. The floor beneath you has changed again. Not softer this time, not floor at all. You glance down, there's no tile, no linoleum, only shallow water, a perfectly still pool that reflects nothing of the world above it. You're not walking on it, you're inside it, but you're dry. The water doesn't cling. It flows past without friction, pulling gently at your clothing like curious fingertips. You step forward, and the ripple moves behind you, not ahead. A hallway that remembers your direction. The lockers, once still, now tilt ever so slightly, as if bowing, or listening. Somewhere behind you, a suitcase clicks shut. The sound is far, but carries with it a weight, like something finalized, locked again, folded in on itself. You don't turn around. You know what's back there. You know what waits inside it. Your name, folded like paper. A photograph of your hand. A key you were never meant to use. The rain intensifies. Elegant, silent. Droplets drift upward past your eyes, like stars rising instead of setting. One pauses at your lashes. You blink, and it soars upward like a wish being retracted. For a moment, you can hear something inside the rain, not words, but syllables undone. A song your grandmother hummed once in sleep, rewritten without melody, looped with static. And then, there it is. A door. It's at the end of the hallway, where the walls narrow into something throat-like. The door is too small for an adult, child-sized, painted the colour of bone, but with hinges too large, and a knob that resembles an old radio dial. A single strip of tape is X'd over the seam, written in shaking black letters. Don't follow her. You don't remember who her is. You're not even sure you're supposed to, but your body stills. Your breath slows. The rain continues rising, and for the first time you notice, it's only rising around you. Not the hallway, not the lockers, only around your form, like the environment has chosen you for something, an undoing, maybe, or a remembering, a test of presence. You close your eyes. There's a sound, faint, from beneath the floor again. No, not beneath, from within the water. The surface doesn't ripple, but the sound travels through it, like something knocking politely on the underside of a dream. Thump, pause, thump, a breath, then we're still waiting inside. The voice is not angry, it's tired, hopeful even. You open your eyes. The door has moved closer. It's halfway down the hall now, and you didn't move. Or you think you didn't. The lockers are bending inward slightly, like they've grown closer in your absence, trying to hear your thoughts. The door speaks again. You left her behind. A soft moan answers from behind locker 12. You want to run, but the water holds you, not like chains, but like arms. Like someone who once loved you is pleading, gently, not to go where you're thinking. You lower your hand into the water. It disappears instantly, no resistance, no cold. Just the sensation of static pulling upward along your wrist, a thread of radio silk looping itself into your skin. You pull back. A glove now covers your hand. It's not yours. It's too old, too worn. You don't remember when you lost it, but you do remember the feeling of holding someone else's fingers with it long ago, during a storm that never arrived. Behind you, locker 12 begins to hum, not in sound, in memory. It's remembering something it never told you, and the rain rises faster. There's a sound now, a ticking, not sharp but soft, like clock hands curling rather than clicking, their arcs forming slow circles within circles, fractal and folding, endlessly inward. You hear it from every direction at once. The rain has slowed, but it hasn't stopped. It still rises around you in slow ribbons, caught in air that behaves more like water, time suspended in vapour. The hallway has narrowed. You didn't see it happen, but the walls are closer now, lockers pressing inward as if the corridor itself were being gently wrung, like a towel heavy with forgotten moments. The overhead lights flicker at longer intervals, creating gaps of darkness long enough to suggest motion, but not confirm it. You reach out. Your gloved hand touches a locker, not locker 12, another, its number long since scraped away. It's warm, not just from friction, but from memory. You feel the ghost of a handprint inside the metal, a shape once pressed against the steel for so long it left behind intention. You don't know what it's asking, but your fingertips answer anyway, resting gently where someone else once begged for escape or entry or remembrance. The ticking grows louder, but it's not from a clock you can see. You follow the sound. Each footstep lands slightly softer now, as if you're being careful in a house not yours, returning to a dream you've already walked through but must not disturb. The floor beneath you pulses, not with static this time, but with rhythm, as though the hallway were breathing in tempo. 3:33. Not just the time, the rhythm. 3 slow beats, 3 slow silences, 3 slow thoughts. It plays on loop behind your ears, in your chest. You pass another locker. This one open. Inside is a photograph. You're back. You're standing in a hallway, this hallway, but facing away, staring towards something just out of frame. The image is printed on thick old paper, the kind used in motel lobbies to announce weather that never came. On the reverse side is a date, 3:33 a.m. every night. You keep walking. The ticking continues. Now the lockers hum in agreement. They do not rattle. They breathe in time. And all of them are beginning to bend. Their doors warping inward, handles twitching like they might open on their own if you look away. The walls ripple once, gently, then settle. And then, ahead, bathed in that syrupy, not quite light glow, is the source of the ticking. A clock mounted to the ceiling where the corridor arches sharply. You've seen it before. In dreams. In mirrors. In the motel room you visited only once, but have returned to every night since you left your body behind in that hallway. Its hands do not point outward. They curl inward, like the petals of a closing flower. They do not tick forward. They tighten, shrinking into themselves, orbiting not the center, but each other. Time is not passing, time is winding. The numbers on the face are wrong, not Roman, not Arabic. Symbols you almost recognize, like the shapes you saw as a child when rubbing your eyes too hard in the dark. The minute hand folds into itself. The hour hand bends at the middle, like an arm with too many joints. And every 7 rotations, it stops at 3:33. Even when it never started, you stare too long. The hallway shifts again. The floor tilts slightly to the left. Gravity softens. You feel your body lean but don't fall. Something holds you. Not a hand, not a wall, just a presence. A kind of sympathetic pressure, like someone is cradling your hesitation. You let it guide you. There is a door beneath the clock, smaller than the last one. Too small for even a child to pass through. But its knob begins to turn anyway. You hear a creak, not from the hinges, from within the air. A stretch, a sigh, a tongue pressed gently against the roof of a mouth. And then, a whisper. She left the clock behind for you. You freeze. Not from fear, from recognition. You remember that voice? Not the words, not the tone, the shape, The way it folds into your breath like the final line of a lullaby. The way it knows your name without speaking it. The way it was there when you lost time. The gloved hand, still yours, still foreign, rises to touch the space where the clock curls, and your fingers pass through, not like smoke, not like water, like fabric, like the cloth of night peeled gently back to reveal something patient, waiting, rhythmic. The rain stops rising and begins falling slowly from above, but only in this spot. The rest of the hallway remains reversed. You step forward into the soft downpour, and the clock exhales. You don't remember being photographed here, and yet the photo is real. Real in the way breath leaves marks on cold glass. Real in the way a name written once still stains the air decades later. You find it not in your hand, but tucked neatly into the seam between locker 12 and the wall, folded twice and sealed with dust. You don't recall reaching for it, only unfolding. The image is quiet. It shows the hallway, blurred at the edges, like someone developed it underwater. There you are, centered perfectly, standing in place you don't remember standing, arms at your sides, head slightly tilted. Not like curiosity, more like surrender. The light behind you is bent, not cast, curving into you like the hallway is trying to close you in. But the strangest part is your face. There are no eyes. Where they should be is simply absence. Not blankness, not darkness, but missingness. A removal. Your mouth is closed, too closed. Lips pinched, expressionless, like something caught between pages. You try to turn the photo, and on the back, scrawled in handwriting not your own, you blinked. You don't understand what that means, but the floor does. It shifts, just slightly, enough for the lockers to murmur, their doors settling in unison like sighs drawn from sleeping mouths. The light overhead dims, not because it's failing, but because it's forgetting. You feel the moment wash over you like static poured gently down the spine. Behind you, the ticking clock curls into silence. Before you, the hallway stretches again. A radio winds softly through the walls, one frequency rising, the other falling. You strain to hear the words, but there are none. Only a loop of breathing. Inhale, pause, exhale, silence. Then again, you know this pattern. It's your sleep rhythm. You've heard it from inside before. When you wake up, but your body doesn't. When the mirror is too far to reach, you keep the photo. You do not put it in your pocket. There are no pockets here. Instead it remains in your palm, impossibly dry despite the rain still falling. Only above you now, like a private weather. You begin walking. The hallway narrows, warps. Lockers stretch taller than before, some doubling over each other, their doors pressed open like mouths caught mid-breath. One spills nothing. One spills feathers. One spills the scent of childhood, the sharp sweetness of plastic toys left in sun, the chemical memory of bandages, the rubber tang of erasers gnawed in nervousness. Then one locker door creaks open slowly as you pass. You don't look, but you feel the photograph tug in your hand, just once. As if someone behind you softly, desperately, wants you to turn. You don't. You move forward, and the radio catches again. Stronger now, tuned closer. The photo was never supposed to be found. You weren't supposed to blink. But it's always been raining in your reflection. You pause. The photo warms. Not heat, exactly. more like presence. You flip it again. This time, the image has changed. Your head is turned slightly. The no eyes are looking at you now. You blink hard. And when you open your eyes, you are still in the hallway, but it feels less certain. Like it's begun asking itself whether it should remain a hallway or become something else entirely. Your feet leave no sound. The ground is paper now, thin, slightly wet. It flexes beneath your steps, and the lockers begin whispering names you almost recognize. Childhood nicknames, mispronunciations, cruel little variations given to you by schoolmates who've long since disappeared into the rearview mirror of memory. You reach a fork. It wasn't there before. Left, a stairwell that leads down into red fog. Right, a ramp, slick with old light, curving gently upward toward an impossible window that shows only static. The photograph vibrates in your hand. You listen. You listen harder. The photo has begun humming. No, not humming. Singing. A lullaby. Off-key, but familiar. You take a step toward the ramp. The humming fades. You step toward the stairs. The humming deepens, as if the photograph were pleased. You descend. Each step folds softly beneath you, like descending through layers of memory too soft to keep shape. The red fog thickens. It smells like attic air and burnt film, like secrets scorched at the edges but still legible. You descend until the ticking resumes, not loud, but close, intimate, like a watch pressed behind your ear by a trembling hand. At the landing, there's a door. Old wood, faded brass knob, a mirror affixed where the peephole should be. You look. The photograph is gone from your hand. But in the mirror, you are holding it again. And now your eyes are back, but your mouth is missing. You know the sound before you hear it. A faint click, not mechanical, not precise, more like a breath catching, a joint slipping gently back into place. It comes from somewhere behind the wall, but also beside your ribs, from a place beneath bone where muscle holds memory. You don't remember packing anything, but there it is, the suitcase. It waits in the center of a room that should not exist. You stepped through no door. You opened no passage. But here you are, a square room papered in a fading velvet pattern of vines that twist into letters too small to read. The walls are bowed inward, as though time pressed against them for years before remembering it wasn't allowed inside. The ceiling breathes. The floor glows faintly, as if lit from beneath by old photographs turned upside down. The suitcase sits alone, a faded brown leather thing with stitched corners and a tag you can't quite read. One side is warped from heat or memory, or both. The latches are unlatched, but it hasn't opened. It is breathing. You take a step. It exhales. The sound is warm, soft, too close to human, as though something inside is sleeping, just barely, and your nearness is beginning to stir it. You take another step, and the room forgets its edges. The corners drift slightly apart. The wallpaper trembles, not visibly, but emotionally. You feel it, the way you feel a throat preparing to speak behind you in a dream. You kneel. The suitcase creaks softly as your presence brushes against it. It does not open, but you do. Your mouth parts. You don't speak. You remember. There was another one. Not this case. A different one. Your grandmother's. She never let you touch it. Said it was not for this side of the story. You remember the way she whispered those words, as if they belonged to someone else, and she was only borrowing them on your behalf. You press a hand to the suitcase now. It's warm, and it pulses. Once, twice. On the third, it flicks open, only slightly, just enough to release a scent that melts into the room like perfume into water. Old rose, static, the clean ghost of mothballs and iodine. You expect to see objects, things, but the inside is lined in black velvet, the kind that swallows light and time alike, and resting perfectly centered within it, a single glove. Your glove. The match to the one on your hand. You do not recall losing it. You do not recall ever having both. But there it is. It glistens faintly, damp from rain that has never fallen. Its fingers curl slightly inward, as if gripping a memory too delicate to unwrap. You reach forward. The suitcase closes. Fast, not slammed. Snapped, like a decision made in your absence. The breath catches in your throat, but the room holds you gently. You rise. You turn. And now, the mirror is here. No longer on the door. It is the door. It watches without reflection. Its surface is liquid stillness, darker than ink, darker than sleep. Your shape is missing, but something flickers in the depth, something close to you. Not a twin, a tether. It raises its hand before you do, and the glove is on the wrong hand. You back away. The suitcase clicks open again. Only this time, it speaks. A voice, hollow but unmistakable. Your grandmother's, soft and low, like spoken through a pillow. Yeah, you weren't meant to see both. The mirror ripples. The voice continues. You've been carrying this longer than you know. You turn. The suitcase is empty. The glove is on your hand now. You didn't move, but it's there. It fits. Too well. You exhale, and something behind the mirror inhales sharply, greedily, like you gave it permission. The hallway returns, folding inward, gently pulling you back through. The suitcase is gone, but you feel it behind your ribs now, its shape lodged beneath breath. A second heartbeat, ticking, waiting. The hallway no longer whispers. It sings. Not music, not melody, but voice. A single voice, too soft to recognize, yet too familiar to dismiss. It coils through the vents, bleeds out of the lockers, pulses through the ceiling like an old house remembering its original name. You walk slowly, glove flexing softly against your side, the phantom weight of the suitcase still echoing beneath your lungs. The voice is yours, but not now you. It's a version of you you haven't spoken from in years. Too high-pitched, too hopeful, too unfinished. A voice still figuring out how sound works. A voice that believed adults never lied. You stop. The voice continues. Left it right here. Ojk. Promised it would be safe. It's to lock the dream. It loops, glitches, skips like tape unraveling in reverse. The words smear at the edges, vowels stretching, consonants collapsing. The floor beneath your feet pulses faintly with each syllable, like the room itself is mouthing along with the voice in sympathy. You find the source. Locker 31. Its vent slats glow faintly from within, like the flicker of a television left on too long in a motel room with curtains always drawn. The voice seeps from the gaps, thick and warped. You kneel beside it. The metal is colder than it should be, not just in temperature, in time. You press your ear to the vent, a heartbeat, not yours, not human. It ticks like a metronome learning to cry. And then, unmistakably, you left me here. It is your voice again, but now layered, not child you, not current you, somewhere between, like a memory shared between versions. It's asking you to open the locker, but it doesn't want to be opened. It just wants to know if you'll try. You reach for the latch. Your fingers hesitate. The glove tightens, not with resistance, with encouragement. You flip the latch. The door creaks half open. Darkness inside. Velvet again, but deeper this time, as though the lining stretches into something bottomless. You lean forward, not to see, but to feel. The voice grows louder, not in volume, but density. It speaks again, and this time it names something you've never told anyone. A nickname from your earliest memory. Something your grandmother whispered once in the back seat of a car driving nowhere. You recoil. The locker snaps shut. You do not remember closing it. You are standing now. The voice is gone, but not forgotten. It's shifted location. No longer external. Now it hums from the radio. You didn't notice the radio before, but it's here, mounted between lockers like it's always belonged. Analog. Knobs instead of buttons. Fabric speaker cover fraying at the corners, stained with the tea-coloured bloom of age. It tunes itself. Dials moving in slow jerks, searching for you. A whisper crackles from the static. Not your voice this time. Hers. Oyik. You shouldn't have taken the glove. The voice is soft, proud and sad. You'll never be able to take it off now. You raise your hand. The glove is different, darker. It's begun to fray at the fingertips. Threads unspool into tiny, writhing filaments, curling gently in the air like smoke. You try to pull it off, but the seams stretch with you, as if the glove is learning to become your skin. The radio speaks again. But it fits, doesn't it? You want to answer, but you've forgotten how to speak without echo. Every word that forms in your throat arrives already pre-recorded, already spoken in a moment that hasn't happened yet. The hallway bends left. You follow it. The light follows you. The lockers grow quieter. And the voice, your voice, her voice, their voice, melts back into the walls, leaving behind only breath. Not your breath, the room's breath. The breath of a place that once loved you enough to remember your name long after you forgot how to write it. You touch the wall gently, and the wall exhales. Inside the static, a song, your lullaby, in reverse. The floor doesn't creak, it shifts. Beneath your soles, it moves with a pulse that isn't yours, slow and deliberate, like a drumbeat muffled by soil. The rhythm rises through your arches, into your calves, and for a moment your steps match it. Not because you mean to, because it means for you to. You pause. It doesn't. The hallway ahead is long, liquid with fog. The lockers have receded slightly, giving the air more room to breathe between their frames. But something lingers. An echo. Not of sound, but of motion. Like footsteps. Not beside you, not ahead, behind. They mimic you, not quite perfect. Off by just a half second, enough to suggest imitation rather than mirroring. You listen. So does the hallway. You take a step. A beat later, step. You stop. So does it. The fog curls closer now, drawn in like breath before a hush. The light overhead flickers in 3 tones, warm, dim, absent. Your shadow refuses to keep up. It lags behind you, as if distracted, unsure whether it wants to remain attached. You turn, slow. The hallway stretches long in both directions, empty. But your name, it echoes, not aloud, not from a mouth, from a ribcage. You feel it thump between your lungs, not as a word, but as a recognition. Something behind you remembers you more clearly than you remember yourself. And it's walking, softly, trying not to disturb the floor's rhythm, but the floor notices, and the pulse beneath you stutters. Once, twice, like a skipped heartbeat. You resume walking, but faster now. The hallway curves, just slightly, enough to bend your perspective, to fold sound differently around you. The lockers to your left breathe in, the ones to your right exhale. And somewhere between those breaths, you pass something. You don't see it, but you know you've just been walked through. The pulse surges. You stagger. A warmth passes through your sternum, like someone reaching in with careful fingers to cup your heart, then letting it go, gently, regretfully. You gasp, but the air feels reused, already exhaled by someone who came before you. Ahead, another locker. It's numbered wrong. 31A, I5. You blink. Still there. Its door is slightly ajar, casting a thin line of blackness onto the floor. Blackness not as shadow, but as stain. The kind of dark that absorbs questions. You reach for the handle. You don't touch it. You just think about touching it. And the locker creaks open. Inside, a photograph. No, not again. The same photograph. But now, your face is turned. Not away, not toward, but sideways. As if listening. As if someone beside you had spoken a secret just before the shutter clicked. You flip the photo. This time, there are no words. Only an impression. A faint smudge. Lips, like someone kissed the paper in farewell. You lower the photograph. The pulse behind you stops. So do you. You close your eyes, and you feel it. Breathing. Close. Closer than skin. Not touching, but existing where you used to. And then, a whisper. You left before I could give it back. You turn. But the hallway behind you is gone. Replaced with a mirror. No frame. Just a tall, freestanding sheet of surface pretending to be still. Your reflection is there. Wrong again, not because of the glove, not because of the eyes, because it's breathing out of sync. When you inhale, it exhales. When you speak, it listens. When you stand still, it shifts, just slightly, just enough to let you know it wants out. And it's wearing both gloves. It smiles, not cruel, not kind, just ready. Behind the mirror, another suitcase. Locked, breathing, waiting. You breathe it in before you see it. The fog, not rolling, not drifting, but arriving, like thought, like instinct. It comes low to the floor, rising in thin tendrils that curl around your ankles, brushing against your calves with the gentleness of a question. It doesn't chill. It doesn't dampen. It tastes. Your tongue presses to the roof of your mouth and meets something like static, like the flavour of old wires and frayed tape. Beneath that, motel carpet, dust thick with lavender and bleach. Childhood encoded in fibre. Beneath that, a trace of cinnamon from a pillowcase that never quite forgot your head. You are no longer walking. The floor has become suggestion, a platform between moments. The hallway recedes around you, both directions folding back into hush. The lockers stretch taller now, arching like iron trees, their doors ajar but not swinging, held open by politeness, as if they'd all paused mid-sentence when you entered. The fog presses higher against your waist now, and you realise it isn't thickening. You're sinking, not through the floor, through the moment. The air grows heavier, but not in pressure, in implication. Like someone remembering something they wish they hadn't, and their thoughts have weight now, gravity, form. You reach for the nearest locker. Number 18. Inside, a snow globe. You don't remember shaking it. But it's snowing. Not downward, not upward, just around. The flakes drift in perfect orbits, circling the miniature scene within. A motel hallway, complete with tiny lockers and a speck-sized figure in a dark coat, one hand gloved, the other reaching toward a fogged mirror. The label on the base reads, "You were already here." You shake it. Nothing changes, because it's not for change. It's for recognition. You return it gently, but the fog clings to your wrist, just for a moment, as if asking to be remembered. It tastes like distant music now, an echo of a piano through an apartment wall, a lullaby halfway undone. You walk on. The hallway no longer curves, it flows, like water in a dream. The lockers melt slightly at the corners, their numbers now flickering like old neon. You pass 333, then 333 again, and again. You are being looped, but not trapped, tested. A mirror appears at the bend, too large, too close, but you see yourself fully now. You hesitate. The fog around you tastes suddenly of burned sugar. You've tasted it before, at a funeral. Someone pressed a candy into your hand and whispered, "It's better if you don't look back." You didn't. You kept walking, just like now. But your reflection? It stops, watches, steps forward into the glass, and doesn't stop when it meets the edge. The surface bends like warm film, rippling with each step it takes towards you from within the mirror. You can't move. The fog has thickened, not around your legs, but in your lungs. It's breathing you. Your chest rises only slightly, enough to keep the moment intact, not enough to escape it. Your reflection stands before you now, separated by nothing but the idea of a surface. It holds out its hand, the other glove. You don't take it, you only stare. And the fog answers for you. You. The mirror exhales, and you taste memory, not yours, but close. You're in a motel room now, or what feels like one. A door with peeling numbers, a suitcase at the foot of the bed, a clock, ticking but curling inward, the window sealed with fog, and on the nightstand a photo, face down. You pick it up, you never took it, but you're in it, eyes closed, mouth open, as if you were caught mid-sentence, saying the words. Don't forget this time, but you already have. And the fog nods, as if that's what it wanted all along. The hallway is no longer a hallway. It's the inside of a car. Somewhere, the moment turned sideways, and the floor beneath you changed from linoleum to carpeted plastic, threadbare, salt-stained, riddled with tiny forgotten pebbles. You're sitting now, but you don't remember lowering yourself. The seatbelt is fastened across your chest, but there was no click. You're in the passenger seat. Night outside. Nothing visible through the windshield but fog, thick and moving, pulsing like breath on glass. The engine hums softly beneath your spine. No driver, only the shape of one. A dent in the seat, a coldness in the air where a shoulder should be. The suggestion of someone who just left or is about to return. You reach out, instinct guiding your fingers to the glove box. Your hand trembles slightly. Not from fear, from memory. This has happened before. You don't remember how many times, but the glove knows. It tightens gently across your knuckles as you lean forward. The latch is stiff, coated with something gummy and old. You press it open. Click. The box falls open like a jaw. Inside, not papers, not a manual. A letter, folded, cream-coloured, torn at one edge, as if opened in a hurry. Your name is on it, not written, typed, but the ink is smeared, half erased, like it was exposed to rain that didn't fall. You unfold the paper slowly, one sentence, center aligned, no signature. This time, don't look in the mirror when you pass the gas station. You don't understand, but your body does. It goes cold, because outside the windshield, the fog is parting, and there it is. The gas station. Not a full building, just a sign. Flickering. 3:33. The lights above the pumps blink erratically, casting long shadows that spill in the wrong direction. The station itself isn't whole, it's implied. A blueprint half drawn, the idea of a place you remember from childhood road trips and fever dreams. And just to the right, a mirror, tall, freestanding, facing the car. You want to look. You need to. But the glove tightens again. This time not gently. It bites into your wrist like a warning. You turn your head away just as the mirror flickers. You hear it though. That soft, wet sound mirrors make when something inside them moves. The letter flutters in your lap. You read it again. The ink is gone now, but the words echo inside your mouth like you were the one who wrote them. A voice whispers from the glove box, faint, thinner than a page's edge. If you look again, it'll take your name this time. You close the box, not slowly, firmly. You don't want it to breathe anymore. The car begins to move, not forward, not backward. It drifts, slides gently sideways, like being pulled along a track designed for dreams. Outside, the fog thickens again, but only around the mirror. Everything else begins to fall away. Pavement, pumps, light. Only your reflection remains, walking beside the car, matching speed. It looks straight ahead, not at you, but its lips move. And though you can't hear the words, you know what it's saying. Because you're mouthing them too. Because you always do. The glove loosens slightly. Permission, perhaps. You close your eyes. You let the fog carry you. And as the car fades back into hallway, as the seat becomes breath and the belt becomes memory, you find the letter again. But it's not in your lap. It's in your mouth. You're chewing it slowly, swallowing it. As the hallway returns and the mirror waits around the next bend, the hallway doesn't greet you when you return. It simply resumes, like a paused cassette tape, unspooling back into motion. No fanfare, no rewind, just continuation. The light above you remains dim, but somehow more awake, like it's begun paying attention to you in ways it hadn't before. You take a breath. The air is different now. It has edges, soft ones, rounded, damp, like the corners of an old blanket. But they press against your skin, outlining you, memorizing your contours. You walk, and the floor beneath you groans softly, not from weight, but from recognition. It's telling you something. You've been here before, not just in dream, not just in memory, in loop. Your footfalls match grooves already worn into the ground, footprints invisible to the eye, but present in feeling. Like the hallway has muscles, and you've been its ache. You pause. A locker rattles. Number 22. You've passed it before. Exactly like this. The door ajar, just slightly. The sound of something breathing within. Soft, like cloth rustling against teeth. You approach. The breath inside halts. So does yours. You reach for the handle. The glove is gone. You didn't notice it leaving. Your hand is bare now. Fingers pale, slightly wet, as if recently held by something too patient. The locker creaks as you open it. Inside, a mirror. Not full length, just a square shard propped against the back wall of the compartment, cracked diagonally from one corner to the other. It reflects nothing. Nothing. Not your face, not your shape. Just the locker interior. As if you were never standing there at all. You lean in, and there it is. A note. Taped to the underside of the top shelf. Barely visible, unless the mirror misreflected just enough to reveal it. You peel it down. Folded twice. Typed, like the one from the glove box. But this one isn't a warning. It's an answer. You've asked this before. Your throat tightens. The hallway pulses around you. Walls trembling with the effort of restraint. The lights overhead flicker in a new rhythm. 3 short, 3 long, 3 slow. Morse code from an entity too tired to remember language. You pocket the note, but your pants have no pockets. It still disappears. The mirror inside the locker flickers. You see a face now, not yours, not quite. Close, but wrong at the edges. Eyes slightly too close together, nose sharpened, mouth half open, half listening. It blinks once, slow, then mouths. Again. The mirror cracks further. You back away, but the reflection leans forward, as if trying to follow, to step through, to finish what you've started. But the glass holds, for now. You shut the locker. The latch resists, not locked, just unwilling. You press harder. It yields. You walk on. And with every step you take, the lockers whisper things they've said before. You should have remembered the glove. You always pause at 22. Stop asking questions you already answered. Their voices aren't cruel, just exhausted. Like a film that's been watched too many times, its reel worn thin with repetition. You stop walking. The air stills. You turn slowly. Behind you, the mirror from the locker. It's followed. Floating mid-air, cracked, trembling, hovering at shoulder height, pulsing with light that isn't light, casting no glow, only memory. It reflects your back, perfectly, but you haven't turned. You're facing forward, and yet it shows you walking away, and then pausing, looking back, into it. It's not reflecting. It's playing, a memory you don't remember having. The mirror pulses, then drops, shatters soundlessly at your feet. But there is no glass, only water, rising upward again. One droplet lands on your lip, tastes like your name. It's in your hands before you notice it. The snow globe, cold, dense, breathing slightly through the glass. You don't remember reaching for it, but your fingers are wrapped around its base, thumbs pressed against an etched brass plate that reads, "Do not shake while remembering." Inside, a scene you almost recognize. A hallway, yes, but older, dustier, shorter somehow. The lockers are different, wood-faced, brass-handled, familiar in the way old family furniture is familiar. Even when it's been repainted to hide a story, it doesn't want to tell anymore. You peer closer. There's someone inside. A child, kneeling, holding something. A mirror? No, a glove, too large for their hand. You blink. Snow begins to fall inside the globe, but slowly, wrongly. The flakes don't descend, they orbit, caught in elliptical paths around the child's head, some trailing upward, some simply pulsing in place like static memories mid-corruption. You want to shake it, you need to, because something inside the snow, beneath the floor of the miniature hallway, moves. You tilt the globe, just slightly. The glass cracks. Not loudly, not shattering, just one fissure, trailing along the curve like a hairline thought stretched too far. A single drop leaks out. It lands on your wrist. It's warm. Your skin remembers the temperature, the kind of warmth found in mittens pulled from radiators, or tea gone cold and warmed again in secret. You watch the crack lengthen. Inside, the child has turned, now facing you. The glove in their hand twitches, then crawls up their arm. You flinch, but the glass does not yield. The brass plate begins to shift beneath your thumbs. The letters rearrange. Now it reads, "She's still inside the storm." You do not know who she is, but your chest contracts like it does. The snow thickens, and now, outside the globe, it is snowing. Lightly, no source, no sound, just white fragments drifting down around you, each one a perfect square, like clipped segments of photographs burned at the corners. You catch one, on it, an eye, closed. Another lands on your shoulder, a doorknob. Another, a motel bed, unmade. They continue falling. The globe begins to hum, a low, melodic whine, like a singing bowl struck too gently to sing, but enough to remember the note it once held. You lower it, set it on the floor, but the snow follows, now rising again, from the floor, from your sleeves, from the walls, flakes swirling without touch, held aloft by intention, and the lockers begin to change, their doors now rounded, some taller, others shrinking. Their numbers flicker into unfamiliar alphabets, scripts you dreamt once and forgot by breakfast. One door opens as you pass. Inside, nothing. But you hear it. A voice, cracked like the globe. Don't forget the latch. Don't shake what's still dreaming. Don't. The door swings shut. The globe at your feet has melted now. Not into water, into silence. A puddle of absence where sound refuses to exist. You step around it, not through, because you understand now. Some reflections aren't for breaking, some snow should never fall, and some hands, once gloved, never return to themselves. You walk on, but the hush of snow follows, and somewhere behind you, a smaller version of yourself keeps shaking the globe and watching it forget. You hear it before you see it. A soft jangle, metal on metal, muffled, like sound filtered through a heavy curtain or a dream too far gone to chase. It follows your footsteps with a rhythm of its own, just offbeat, just off time, as if echoing a version of your movement that's half a second ahead of you. You stop, it stops, but the echo lingers. One more jangle, like a final breath trying to catch up, and then, at your feet, a key. Old brass, tarnished, resting just outside a locker marked 30B, a designation that wasn't there before and might not remain when you look away. You kneel. The tag is leather, cracked, stamped in black lettering nearly worn smooth, room 333. You don't remember a room like that, but the numbers hum against your fingers as you lift it. They thrum, like a heartbeat not your own, as though the metal remembers being turned in locks that no longer exist. You run your thumb across the tag's edge. It flinches, just slightly, like skin touched unexpectedly. The hallway shifts in response. A door appears to your left, nondescript, wood grain laminate, metal knob, dented slightly as if from years of anxious knocks. No signage, no number. But you know, this is 333. You press the key into the knob. It doesn't resist, but it doesn't turn either. Instead, it sighs. A tiny release of air, warm against your palm, like the doorknob was holding its breath until you touched it. The door opens inward. You step through, and the motel room breathes you in. Dim yellow light, faded green carpet, a twin bed with a floral coverlet older than memory, a dresser missing its middle drawer, and on the wall, above the headboard, crooked but centered, a mirror. Of course, your reflection waits there, but it's seated, in the chair beside the window, wearing your clothes, but not your posture. The shoulders are slouched, resigned. the face tilted just enough to let you know it knows you're here. It doesn't move, but the mirror does. Not the glass, the frame. It grows, slowly, silently, stretching upward and outward, becoming the shape of a door. Not fully formed, not accessible, just suggested, like a passage half remembered. You approach the reflection. It doesn't flinch. You open your mouth to speak, but the reflection shakes its head once. Slow, final. Your throat closes. Not from fear, from compliance. The air in the room is thick with motelness, humidity soaked into drywall, whispers preserved in the fibres of the comforter, the smell of air conditioning that's been off too long. On the nightstand, a clock, 3:33, stuck. The colon doesn't blink. You pick it up. It's heavier than it should be. You turn it. Underneath, a compartment. Inside, a second key, identical to the first, except this one is cold, and the tag reads, "Use only in absence." You look up. The reflection is gone. The chair is empty, but the mirror still shows you seated, mouth open, like mid-sentence, like you were about to explain something you've already forgotten. The room begins to dim, not like lights fading, more like dusk arriving. You move toward the door. It doesn't lead back into the hallway. It opens into fog, not rolling, not passive, but aware. You feel it reach toward you, not with arms, but with question. You take the second key, tuck it into your mouth, let it rest on your tongue like communion, and step into the quiet that waits. The room behind you vanishes. The number 333 melts from the tag, and you wonder, just briefly, how many times you've carried that key back into the fog. You don't remember the typewriter, but it remembers you. Its keys sit sunken in the fog like teeth from something long ago buried and only recently exhaled. You're not sure how you found it. You're not even sure you were walking. One moment, motel fog thick as silence. The next, a desk, metal, rusted, waiting. The typewriter rests on top, centered, coiled in the dim halo of a single desk lamp that clicks on, not with electricity, but recognition. The light is warm, too warm. The kind of glow that belongs in your grandmother's hallway, near the shelf of broken clocks, and that mirror that never quite stayed clean. You approach. The paper is already in place. Half filled, single-spaced, typed in your voice. Not literally, not in tone, not in phrasing, but in pulse. Each word lands with the rhythm of your breath. You scan the top of the page. Locker 12. Your name was already inside the title. Your title. Typed cleanly at the top, like a dream you never told anyone because it was too close to being real. Below, paragraphs unfold in looping prose you vaguely recall writing in sleep. Hands moving without aim, guided by some whisper you'd since forgotten how to hear while awake. The words describe the hallway, the glove, the mirror, the static between. You read about the clock you swallowed in silence, the photo that shifted in your palm, the rain that fell upward. The page remembers your steps better than your feet do. Then, at the bottom, your name, typed in full, the secret middle one included. You didn't type this, you're certain, but you will. Your hands move, uninvited, unhurried. Fingers rest against the keys like they're greeting old friends. You type the next line, not because you choose to, but because the typewriter has already felt it. She's waiting behind the mirror, but only when you forget her name. The period hits hard. The paper shivers slightly in its frame. You glance at the margin. Timestamp 3:33 a.m. Of course. You peel the page free. A second sheet pulls up behind it, already threaded into place, like the machine is eager for continuation. You lay the typed page beside the lamp. It begins to fade. Letter by letter, your words vanish. Not instantly, not erased, absorbed. The paper remains, but the ink softens into nothing. You pick it up, blank, still warm, smells like lavender. You raise it to your face, and hear whispering, not from the paper, from the keys. They speak as you press them now, each click a syllable of something ancient in your own voice. You dreamed this before. You wrote it with closed eyes. This is how she speaks to you now. You stop typing, but the keys keep moving, slowly, faintly. The page curls in on itself, and from behind the desk something breathes. Not hostile, not hidden, something bound. You step back. The typewriter's return lever twitches, and the carriage slides left. A new sentence appears. Turn around. You hesitate, not out of fear, out of timing, because you know what's behind you, because you've seen it in dreams. You turn, and the desk is gone. The hallway is back, but the typewriter sits in your hands now, folded impossibly into the shape of a suitcase. You latch it. It clicks shut. The glove returns. Fitted. Satisfied. You walk on. The keys continue clicking. Inside the case. Typing what hasn't happened yet, but always will. The hallway is narrow again. Not in size, but in intention. It leads forward like a whispered sentence, half swallowed, desperate to end, but afraid of what the period might mean. The light is colder now, blue tinged, like moonlight filtered through aquarium glass. You walk slowly. You have to. The suitcase in your hand. Yes, it's a suitcase now, fully formed, leather wrapped, ticking softly. Feels heavier than before. Not with mass, with memory. The air tightens around you. A pressure, low and expectant. And then, just ahead, there it is. Not a mirror, not glass. Something more uncertain. A reflection, floating in space. Untethered by wall or frame or logic. Just present, hovering. And it sees you before you see it. It's not your posture, not quite. The stance is wrong, too centered, too still. The kind of stillness only achieved by something that doesn't breathe but knows you do. You stop. It doesn't. Its head tilts, just slightly, and your chest tightens. Because you remember this. Not from a dream, not from a memory, from the feeling of déjà vu so thick it buckles your knees. This has happened, will happen, is happening, again. You blink, the reflection doesn't. It watches, silent. Its mouth begins to move, but you hear no sound, only the ticking inside the suitcase, steady, slow, curling inward like the hands of a clock that never learned to count forward. The air tastes like old light bulbs, like flickering, like a room you never entered but somehow locked behind you anyway. The reflection raises its hand. You don't. Its fingers twitch. 2, then 3, then all 5, spreading as if grasping water, as if pulling through sauce not yet formed. You step back. It follows, but not in motion. In presence. It draws nearer without advancing, filling the hallway, filling you. And now you see it. Its face isn't yours. It's hers. The one you left. The one who stayed behind the mirror when you walked away from that room. That dream. That night so many 3:33s ago. She smiles. Not kind. Not cruel. Just unfinished. The space around her ripples. Not the air. Not the wall. The absence of both. She exists in a gap. A memory-shaped hole through which your breath is pulled, slow and gentle, like wind through lace curtains. And when she speaks, finally, it isn't aloud. It's written, across the floor beneath her feet. You are the reflection now. You blink. This time she does too. And when her eyes open again, they are yours. But earlier, before the glove, before the mirror, before the name inside locker 12. Eyes that still believed in exits. You reach out, foolishly, reflexively. The air hardens, turns to static. Your fingers stop just short of her face, but her warmth passes into your palm. You feel everything. The night you forgot how to sleep, the road that never led away. The time you stood at the motel window and watched the fog bloom outward instead of recede. You lower your hand. You nod. She does too. But her smile fades. Her mouth moves one last time. And this time, the words reach you, whispered in breathless clarity. You're almost back. The reflection dissolves, not shattered, absorbed. And in its place, the hallway opens. Wider, darker, but inviting. You step forward, and behind you, where your reflection once stood, a mirror forms. Just a shard, just enough. And in it, someone else, watching you now. Their hand raised, their eyes too wide, their name not yet known. It begins as a sound, a low hum, too distant to trust, curling like breath through the vents of the world. Then, under your feet, the texture of the floor softens. No longer tile, no longer carpet. Asphalt, but wrong. Too smooth, too silent. The kind of road that feels remembered, not travelled. You're walking again, but now it's forward with intent. The hallway has stretched into a corridor of dark sky and invisible curves, flanked not by lockers, but by fog stitched with tail light red and sodium vapor gold. A road, familiar, but only in the way a recurring dream is familiar. Never the same shape twice, but always the same ache in the chest. You glance back. The hallway is gone. There is only the road, straight for now. Slick, breathing, no destination ahead, no signage. Just the sound of tires long past and the glow of a radio tower blinking somewhere in the fog like a heartbeat waiting to be named. The suitcase in your hand ticks softly, but the ticking is wrong now. It skips. 3 ticks. Silence. 3 ticks. Silence. 3 ticks. Silence. 3 falls to 3 to 3. You recognize the pattern. So does the road. It bends left. You do not steer. It guides. The fog presses in, not with weight, but with knowing. You're not being led, you're being returned. The streetlights begin to repeat. Same flicker, same lean, same broken base with a strip of old tape halfway torn. You mark it silently. You pass it again. You count this time. 7 lights. Curve. 7 lights. Curve. The road loops. Not metaphorically, not poetically, literally. You are circling something, or something is circling you. Ahead, a figure appears. Mid-road, standing still. You squint. It's small, childlike, wearing something heavy, oversized. A coat, a blanket. No, a glove, just one. The other hand is bare. It's clutching a mirror the size of a book. The kind you'd keep under a bed if you didn't want anyone to see the things you still believed in. You slow, so does the world. The fog drapes heavier across your shoulders. The ticking suitcase ceases. The figure raises the mirror. You don't see yourself. You see the motel. The hallway. Locker 12. Door ajar. Inside it, another road. Smaller. Curled. Tight as thread. You blink, and now the child is gone. But the mirror remains. Levitating. Facing you. And you hear the voice again. Soft. Patient. Old. You always come back here. You always forget until the glove is gone. The road doesn't end. It loops. The words aren't spoken. They're felt. Pressed into the fog like a signature. You reach for the mirror. Your fingers pass through. Glass becomes liquid. Liquid becomes film. And through it, you fall. Not down. Inward. Spiraling. The sound of tires screaming through a dream. The glow of a dashboard clock stuck on 3:33. The shape of your name written on a fogged window by someone who forgot how to spell it. You land, softly, on carpet, green, faded. You're in the motel again, room 3003. The mirror is gone, but the road hums just beyond the window, waiting, always waiting, because it doesn't end, it loops, and you are always late coming back. You don't remember speaking, but the tape recorder plays anyway. It sits on the nightstand beside the motel bed, a square thing with buttons too large and corners worn soft by fingers that don't exist anymore. You didn't press play, you didn't rewind, but the spool spins, the tape hums, and the room holds its breath to listen. Click. Whir. Static, soft and granular, like crushed moth wings being poured through silk. Then, your voice. Not now you, not adult, not even the version you still dream as younger. Smaller, thinner, higher. A voice not shaped yet by thought, but by echo. It speaks in fits, not words. They said not to open the locker, but she was already inside. And I didn't know it was me. Your hand tightens on the bed frame. Not fear, recognition. You remember this voice, not from inside your head, from outside. You've heard it before, from rooms adjacent to yours, through motel walls, woven through static on broken radios. You were never alone here, just surrounded by your own echoes. The voice continues, quieter now. I left the glove by the radiator, but the mirror took it. Click, silence. A new recording begins. Your voice again, older now, but still not now, you. This one trembles, a breath caught between apology and incantation. If you find this, you already have. The tape speeds up, just slightly, like time tugging at memory's thread. The mirror forgets. The clock lies. Don't trust the suitcase unless it sleeps. You lean forward. The recorder halts. Click. The tape rewinds itself, but not backward, inward. The spools curl tighter and tighter until they vanish, swallowed by the plastic casing, like the machine decided the memory wasn't meant for you after all. You look down. Your reflection waits in the tabletop, not in the mirror, in the polished surface. It's mouthing along with the tape, saying every word before the playback reaches them. You blink. It keeps speaking, then stops, smiles, and mouths something new. There's one more voice. From behind you, a drawer opens. You didn't move, but the sound is clear. Wood sliding against wood. Familiar, ritualistic. You turn. The nightstand's top drawer is ajar. Inside, another recorder. Older, heavier, covered in dust like sleep. You lift it gently. It's warm, already playing. No tape inside, but it plays. The voice is not yours, not hers, not anyone. And yet, you feel it in your bones like a lullaby hummed beneath floorboards. It speaks slow, measured. I was here before both of you. I held the key when the hallway first forgot itself. I buried your names beneath locker 12, and I will open it again when the time loop's just right. The voice fades, but the recorder keeps humming. You press stop. Nothing happens. You press eject. Nothing ejects. The recorder breathes, and you realize it's not playing. It's listening. You press record. Silence. Then, from your mouth, soft, automatic, unearned. Don't be afraid. The next voice is yours. You never meant to say it, but the room accepts your offering. The fog outside the window nods inward, and for the first time, you hear the road not as silence, not as hum, but as something closer to breath. Alive, waiting. And now it knows your voice, even the parts you haven't spoken yet. It isn't numbered, not anymore, but you know which one it is. The hallway curves again, softly, like hesitation, and there it stands, halfway open, slightly swollen, its frame too wide for the space between the walls, as if the building were trying to grow around it and gave up. Its paint has peeled, not from time, but from memory. The kind of peeling that happens when something tries too hard to forget what it's still holding on to. You don't move closer. You don't need to. Locker 13 is already breathing. Inhale, long and low, a flutter beneath steel. Exhale, wet as though sighing through cloth left too long in a sealed room. You feel the rhythm before you hear it. It matches the ticking in your suitcase, which has stopped ticking. Now it pulses, slow, deep, soft. You press your hand against the locker's side. It's warm, and not from heat, from body, something living, or trying to remember how to live. From within the locker comes a sound, not a voice, not quite. Something almost human, like a name trying to push its way back into the world. You lean close, so close the smell reaches you, faint, familiar, rose lotion, burnt dust, lavender soap, and something else. You whisper, "I know this scent," and the locker shudders. The breath it exhales fogs your wrist. You look down. Your glove is gone again. Your hand, smudged with ash. The letters of your middle name written faintly across your knuckles in trembling cursive. Letters that were never yours to begin with. From behind the locker door, a voice finally forms, not loud, not whole, but real. "You locked me in. You said it would be quick. You never came back." Your breath catches, because you recognize it, not as her voice, but as your own, earlier, younger, left behind. You try to speak, but the air has thickened. The hallway tightens around you like a sentence closing in on its last word. Locker 13 opens a little more. Inside, a photo. Cracked. You reach for it, but before your fingers touch, the image moves. Not flips, moves. A looped moment. Two figures. One gloved, one barefoot. One holding a mirror, the other holding a key, standing at opposite ends of a hallway that no longer exists. Their mouths are open. They are mouthing your name. One of them is you. The other is the version that stayed. You pull your hand back. The photo freezes. The locker stops breathing. But something else doesn't. From further down the hallway, footsteps. Soft, but doubled. Like someone walking beside themselves. You take the photo anyway. Fold it. It cuts your finger. But no blood. Only ink. Black, smelling of typewriters and motel paper. You look at the locker. Its door has closed. Without sound. Without latch. Just finality. And on its surface, where no number was before, 13. Painted in breath. Still warm. You back away. The suitcase hums. The glove returns. Without movement. Your hand is covered again. You don't question it. You never do. The hallway bends. You follow. The locker exhales one last time and speaks in a whisper only your bones can hear. Next time, don't forget where you left me. It starts in your teeth. A vibration. Soft humming. Not pain, not pressure. Signal. You press your tongue to the back of your molars and feel it resonate, like a frequency just below language. A station not quite tuned. It travels through your jaw, into your skull, down your spine. You are a receiver now. You walk. You. Because walking is the only thing that keeps you from becoming the hallway itself. The fog parts reluctantly. Not out of obedience, but recognition. And then you hear it. The radio. No source. No box. No speaker. but it's there, coming not from around you, but from within. At first, it's just static, not the kind that hisses, the kind that breathes. Inhale, exhale, crackle, whisper, and then, beneath it, faint and flickering. Welcome back. The words wrap themselves around your spine like ribbon. They're spoken in a voice that is yours, but not from any time you remember. Older, wiser, tired. We've been waiting for you to tune in. You stop, because the air around your head has changed. It's denser now, like pressure building behind a sealed door. Your ears pop, and the hallway goes quiet. But inside your chest, the static sharpens, shifts, tunes. You feel the knobs turning, without hands, inside you. One frequency fades out, another fades in, and suddenly you're hearing something different. A recording. No, not a recording. A broadcast, live, happening now. A voice reads. The corridor has begun folding. The reflection is behind the schedule. Room 333 has not yet reset. The glove is awake, but not aligned. Please adjust the mirror. It's a status report on you. The hallway tightens. The lockers hum. You try to shake your head, dispel the sound, but it deepens. The radio voice continues. User identified. Loop integrity weakening. Transmission breach probable. Suitcase containment at 83%. You open your mouth. The sound stops, like someone lifted the needle off a spinning record. The silence inside you rings. You whisper, I didn't ask for this. And the voice returns, softly, kindly. But you answered. You always do. We only speak through those who forget they're still listening. You reach your hand toward the nearest locker. Your glove pulses with feedback. Static bursts through your fingertips, curling into the lock like keys made of radio waves. The door clicks open. Inside, a microphone. Old, dusty. Its wire leads nowhere. It hums gently, alive. You pick it up. It fits too well. Your breath hisses through the mesh. You don't speak, but the mic transmits anyway. Somewhere, a speaker crackles. A child's voice plays through it. Don't leave yet. She's almost here. The clock's mouth is open. You lower the mic. It doesn't stop. You forgot to close the hallway behind you. The lockers begin to tremble. Not violently, rhythmically, tuned. Each one broadcasting its own faint signal. A chorus of unsung songs. Of voicemail messages never sent. Of apologies rehearsed but never made. You cover your ears. But it's not in your ears. It's in your blood. Your pulse now carries music. Notes folded inside each heartbeat. You recognize the melody. She used to hum it in the kitchen, right after the rain. You never knew the words, but the radio does. And now the hallway sings it back to you. Through your bones, through the floor, through the fog, until it all blurs together. A frequency too deep for understanding, too soft to resist. You are the signal. You are the transmitter. You are the song. And somewhere, far below the surface of this place, the suitcase clicks, unlocked, awaiting voice print. The hallway stretches wider, but not with space, with breath. The walls do not move. They exhale. Not air, not dust, but silence thickening. It's thick and slow, say, yawning outwards like a jaw unhinged in sleep. You feel it more than see it. A pulling at the edges of things, a loosening of form. The lockers lean away from each other slightly, as if bracing for something too large to pass through, unless they make room. You step forward, and the floor sags, only slightly, like a mattress beneath a dream you never meant to sleep in. The lights above you flicker, then hold, not steady, just aware. They no longer pretend to illuminate. They glow the way a reflection does in the corner of your eye, present but never direct. The hallway is longer now, much longer, but it's not time stretching, it's you. You're being drawn out, word by word, thought by thought, unspooled like tape from a cassette that no one will rewind. You feel your breath go thin at the edges, not shallow, widened, as if your lungs are being taught a different shape. The walls inhale again, and this time you hear it. A low moan, not of pain, not of pleasure, but of memory, like a room sighing because someone has finally returned. The lockers begin to murmur. Their handles twitch like nervous fingers. Their vents whistle just under hearing. Words slip between the grates like moths with broken wings. She never left. The mirror never closed. The glove fits now. You pass locker 27. Its door is open. You do not remember opening it. Inside, a window, not a frame. A real window, glassed, and behind it, stars, but they do not move. They flicker like artificial flame, printed on velvet, too crisp to be skier. And in the middle of them, a shape, a figure, small, floating, facing you, one hand raised, holding a flashlight. The beam points inward, but the light comes out. It flickers, then dies. You step back. The window clouds. The stars go out. The locker shuts. You're alone again, but only in the way a page is alone before the words return. The walls ripple, not visibly, emotionally. You feel them shifting their attention, like an audience shifting in its seat, waiting for the next line, the next cue. Your footsteps slow. You whisper, I don't know my next line. And the ceiling groans. The tiles above you begin to separate, not breaking, yawning. From between them, threads, thin, translucent, they hang like strands of sleep. One brushes your face. It's warm. It tastes like static. You bite it gently. It vanishes. But something answers. From the floor, a sound. Click. Then drag. Then, voice. She's behind the next locker. Don't say her name. You always say her name. You pass a mirror hanging crooked on the wall, not embedded, hung, as if someone had placed it there just before you arrived. You glance. You are not in it, but the hallway is. Except the hallway in the mirror is yawning wider than this one. The lockers are bent back like ribs, and standing in the middle, facing away, is someone in a coat you recognize but do not own. They turn, slowly, face just shy of detail. Their mouth opens, and from the mirror, a whisper. Close the hallway behind you. You turn away. The mirror remains, mouthing that line over and over. The walls groan. They want you to stay. They want to fold again. You walk faster, and the hallway resists. Each step feels like it's happening through water, through syrup, through memory. The suitcase in your hand grows warmer. The glove tightens, and the floor begins to tilt. Not down, in, as if you're walking into a breath being held far too long. And behind you, the walls yawn once more, wider, then close, swallowing the mirror and the figure, and that voice you keep forgetting to remember. You see it before you reach it, resting beside locker 28, like it's been waiting for you longer than you've been walking. A second suitcase, identical, but only at first glance. This one breathes differently. Its leather is darker, not worn by time, but by handling. Hands that aren't yours, or maybe were. Its buckles shine with a false gleam, too polished for this place. The tag is blank. You stop. Your suitcase hums softly in your hand, low, uncertain, then stills. The second case makes no sound, but its presence speaks. You kneel slowly, heart in your throat, lungs forgetting how to pace. The fog thickens here, not overhead, but at your ankles, coiling up your legs like a question you don't want to answer. You touch the second suitcase. It's warm, like something just left it, like something still inside it. The latch is unlatched, but it doesn't open. It pulses once, as though it has its own breath cycle, and then a whisper. You don't hear it with your ears. You feel it in your glove. Not yet. You hesitate. The fog whispers too. Locked from within. Leave it. Or become it. You stand, but the second suitcase follows. Not with legs, with gravity. It tethers to your sides, your step, your shadow. You walk. It remains, not carried, not dragged, just mirrored. It moves when you do, at the same pace, same rhythm, slightly out of sync. Half a second behind, exactly like your footsteps used to be. You stop. It glides to stillness. Your hand trembles. The first suitcase purrs. A sound you've never heard it make. Comforting, protective, possessive. The second suitcase clicks, just once. A soft metal sound that echoes far too loud in this stretched and yawning corridor. You turn your head, and there, on locker 28, is a note. Pinned with a single sewing needle. The paper trembles. Not from draft, from heartbeat. You remove it, unfold, typed, same font as before, same ink, same memory. Only one of them is yours, but both remember your name. You swallow hard. Both suitcases are closed now, latches secure, matching, still. But only one hums, only one bears the faint scent of typewriter ink and lavender. You whisper, "Which one is mine?" The hallway shifts, not a sound, a suggestion. The lockers pull back just slightly, like theatre curtains widening for the next act. A soft light spills onto the floor ahead, flickering, like a television playing behind a door. The fog parts around it. You move toward the glow. Both suitcases follow, but one, just slightly, quivers, as if afraid of being chosen. You stop before the light. The glow is coming from a room behind a half-closed door. Frosted glass pane. Someone's shadow within. Motionless, familiar. You reach for the knob. It turns without resistance, and the door opens. Not to a room, to a reflection. A hallway, identical to yours, reversed, and waiting on the other side. You, gloved hand, suitcase in tow. A mirror version, staring without expression. But your reflection holds the second suitcase, not yours. The other, the locked one. You blink, so does it, and then it speaks, mouth never moving. You brought the wrong one. The light dims, the reflection fades, and both suitcases begin to rattle. The hallway grows teeth, not literal ones, not enamel or bone, but a rhythm, sharp and closing. Every step you take now has the weight of a tick. Each breath the pause between seconds. Time isn't passing, it's biting. The second suitcase rattles louder, but not violently, eagerly, as if something inside is pacing, counting, waiting for the right moment to chew its way through the lining. You keep walking. You don't know which suitcase is yours anymore, but one of them is humming again. The other has gone quiet. Too quiet. You don't look down, because every time you do, you catch a flicker in the corner of your eye. A lock turning without touch. A handle flexing like a knuckle. And the ticking, it isn't behind you. It's beneath you now. The floor has changed again. The tiles are gone. Now you walk on a clock face. Massive. Endless. Dark brass. Inlaid with glimmering numbers that slither and blur the longer you stare. 3:33 shines the brightest. Of course it does. It's always waiting. You look ahead. There's a hand. Long, black, thin as a thread. Moving. But it's not rotating. It's twitching. Spasming. Dragging its tip like a broken compass across the surface. Second hand is missing entirely, and the minute hand curls inward, slowly eating itself. You step forward. Your foot lands on the space between 3 and 4. The floor shudders. A click. Loud. Definite. Somewhere, a door closes. Not near you. Not in front. Inside. Your jaw tenses, because you just heard something lock behind your ribs. The ticking slows, then stops. The world halts. No breath, no echo, just the quiet weight of anticipation. Then a new sound, grinding, like gears pulling something ancient back into motion. From the wall ahead, a shape emerges. A clock, massive, but shattered. Its glass hangs in midair in splinters, suspended like droplets of time. Its face is smooth, blank, featureless, except for one thing. A mouth. Right at center, where the hands should have met. It opens slowly, no tongue, no voice, just absence. And within the absence, movement, numbers, spinning, your birthday, then hers, then the motel room number, then the locker, then all gone, then your name, typed, one letter at a time, in your own voice. The mouth of the clock speaks now, but not aloud, through vibration. It says, we swallowed time for you. We chewed the seconds. We spit out the hours. And still, you came back late. You step closer. The mouth widens. The brass bends. Inside, another suitcase. No latch, no tag, no sound. Just there, waiting. The second suitcase at your side quivers violently now. Its corners grind into the floor. Your glove tightens, tries to hold on, but the suitcase pulls forward toward the mouth. The first one, your original, begins to lift, almost weightless now, humming softly, drawing you back. You must choose, but you don't, because the clock decides. Its teeth close, not fast, but inevitable, and the quiet that follows is worse than ticking, because silence always knows what comes next. You're back where you started, except nothing is the same. The hallway folds around you like a secret too heavy to keep. The air smells of scorched paper, old sugar, the inside of envelopes you never opened. The lockers are all closed now, every door tight, as if braced for a coming impact. Except one. Locker 12. It's open just enough to make you uncertain. Not wide, not waiting, just listening. You approach slowly. The floor beneath you pulses once, softly, like a chest rising in sleep. Your footsteps make no sound. The hallway holds its breath. The glove on your hand is damp, trembling. Not with fear, but anticipation. You stand before it. Locker 12. The edges are charred now, blackened, as if burned from the inside. The number is smudged, nearly melted, but still legible. 12. Painted in your own handwriting. You reach out. The door opens without resistance. It wants you here. Inside, darkness, but not empty. Something has been added. A single page taped to the back wall. Typed your font, but not your spacing. You lean closer. The page reads, "Why did you leave me here?" You blink. The question blinks back. The paper ripples faintly, like it's breathing. Below the question, new words begin to appear, one letter at a time. I waited. I listened to every footstep. I counted the clock's lies. You promised. You press your gloved hand to the locker's edge. The metal is warm again. Inside, something shifts. A photo appears, slowly, like memory being developed in real time. It curls out from the bottom corner. You take it. It's you. Standing at locker 12. But there's someone beside you. A girl. Small. Familiar. Wearing the same glove. Holding your hand. Her face is smudged. Unreadable. But you know. You drop the photo. It doesn't fall. It vanishes. The page inside the locker keeps typing. No sound. No machine. Just words appearing like breath condensing into thought. You left before it was time. You locked me in and walked away. I remembered for both of us. You try to respond. You can't. Your mouth is full of dust. The glove pulses. And then, below the typed message, a handwritten line. Sharp, deliberate. Take off the glove. You hesitate. The hallway shifts again. The lights dim. And then, like a chorus, the lockers begin to rattle. Softly. In sync. Every single one. Breathing. Trembling. Waiting. The glove tightens. You raise your hand. Start to peel it back. The seams resist. They wind softly like fabric that's learned how to cling. It doesn't want to go, but you pull anyway, slowly, fingers first, then palm, then wrist. The glove drops to the floor. Your hand is bare, written across your skin, in ink, return. Locker 12 sighs. Its interior flickers once with light, and behind the page another door swings open, hidden, small, wooden, unlabeled. You step forward. Your bare hand reaches, touches the knob. It turns, and inside, a staircase, leading down, carved from the sound of forgotten promises, and every step whispers, "You're almost back." The staircase is narrow. Each step creaks, not beneath your feet, but inside your bones. You descend slowly, hand brushing the wall. It's soft, like felt, or skin, or the fabric lining the inside of a casket long since forgotten by the world above. The air thickens, not with dust, but with recollection. You breathe it in. It tastes like the pause between prayers. Faintly metallic, faintly warm. You don't count the steps. You've counted them before. And they never end the same way twice. At the bottom, a room, circular, windowless, silent. You step inside, and the door behind you shuts, not with sound, with finality. The air goes still, and in the center of the room is a bed. Not a bed made for sleep, a bed made for ending. White sheets, no wrinkles, one pillow, indentation already there. Waiting. You do not panic. You know this place. Not from dreams, not from memory, but from after. You've stood here before. You've lain down in this bed. You've closed your eyes. You've died. And still, you came back. You walk toward the bed. Your suitcase is gone. The glove is gone. Your hand is bare, but your palm itches. You turn it over. The word is still there. Return. You reach the bed. Sit slowly. The mattress exhales beneath your weight. A gentle sigh of acceptance. The pillow smells like home. But not the home you remember. the one you invented to survive. You lie back, and the ceiling ripples. A mirror, circular, hung like an eye. Inside it, you, eyes closed, breathing. Below your image, the mirror fogs slightly, and words begin to form. You were supposed to forget. The fog clears. New words. But forgetting is a kind of dying too. Your limbs grow heavy. The air becomes velvet. Soft, smothering. You hear footsteps now. Not in the room, in the hallway above. Measured, deliberate, approaching. And then, her voice. You left the door open. Again. You always do. You try to speak, but your mouth won't open. Not from fear, from ritual. This is the part where you go still. This is the part where you let go. But you don't, not yet. Not this time, because you remember now. You remember dying here, and what came after. The ticking, the glove, the mirror, locker 12, the road, the motel, the name whispered behind static. You inhale, and the room inhales with you, a perfect echo. The ceiling darkens, no longer a mirror, just space, endless and calm. You close your eyes, but you're still seeing, not with sight, with knowing. The footsteps pause outside the door, the handle turns, and you say the words you never had the chance to say. Aloud, finally, fully, and without fear. I remember you. The door opens, and everything stops. They don't speak your name anymore, not the way they used to. Now the echoes speak in shapes, in syllables too warped to track, in looping murmurs that layer over each other until they feel like a wind pushing through your chest, urging you forward, backward, inward. The hallway doesn't welcome you back. It simply knows you're here. The air smells like burnt tape. The walls whisper in languages built from sighs and needle scratch static. You pause, hand against a locker that was never yours, and still, it breathes like it remembers you, like it held part of you once, tucked between its metal ribs when you were still only halfway real. From down the corridor, a voice, not one, many, not people, versions. You know them, every one of them. Your voice as it sounded the first time you said goodbye, without knowing. Your voice as it cracked through a motel phone line that never dialed out. Your voice laughing at 7, crying at 11, begging at 17. They chant now, looped, glitched. They overlap like reel-to-reel tapes melted together and played backwards through time. Don't leave her again. You promised it wouldn't hurt. The glove knows how to fit without asking. This time, don't blink. You stumble. Not from fear, from volume. It's inside you now. These voices, bouncing against your ribs, your teeth, your breath. You look up. The ceiling is gone. Replaced by sky. Not real sky. Film sky. Projector sky. Grainy and curled at the edges, like an old reel spitting out its final frames. A flash. Your reflection. Projected 30 feet tall in black and white, mouth open, eyes too wide. Speaking, but no sound. Only the echoes below. The lockers shudder. their doors open in waves. Like they're watching, like they're waiting. One by one, voices begin pouring from their depths, different each time, but always, almost you. One speaks with your grandmother's cadence, another with the lisp you outgrew at 9. One whispers your name like it's an apology, another sings it like a nursery rhyme with the ending changed. You turn a corner you don't remember turning, and there it is, locker 13. Again, breathing, open. Inside, a radio. Old, beige, no dial, just a speaker covered in fabric stained by time and silence. It hisses softly. You don't touch it, but it turns on. You hear your voice. Today you, now you, speaking words you haven't said yet. If she's still in there, I'm not leaving this time. If she wants out, I'll open it. If she's me, I'll listen. The hallway trembles. Lockers slam shut, one by one. The lights overhead flicker into strobe. And the echoes, they laugh. Not mockingly, lovingly. The way memories laugh when you finally remember them. The radio grows louder. The static coils. And then, all at once, every voice shouts. The road doesn't end. It loops. The sound is a shockwave. You drop to your knees. The hallway splinters. Not physically, emotionally. You feel the floor fracture beneath your certainty. You feel time peel off your skin like old wallpaper. You feel yourself dividing, one of you rising, one staying. The radio sputters out, and in the silence that follows, she speaks, clearly, calmly, from just behind you. You finally heard me. The voice behind you doesn't echo. It settles, like a blanket across the back of your neck, warm at first, then heavy. You don't turn. Not yet. Because the locker in front of you, number gone, label peeled, breathing slow, is leaking. Thin streams of rain slide from the seam where the door sits slightly ajar. But they don't fall, they climb. Delicate upward ribbons of water coiling into the air like reversed memory, pooling toward the ceiling where they vanish into the static hum of the overhead light. You reach forward, the rain parts around your fingers like smoke. It tastes like attic air and forgotten promises, the kind that were made with eyes closed and fingers crossed and hearts too small to carry them long. The voice speaks again. You locked me in. Not angry, not accusing, just factual. The locker shudders. A groan, deep and low. The kind of sound made by something deciding whether or not to forgive. You open the door. It resists. But not from rust. From reluctance. And then it yields. Inside, a coat, hanging, not yours, but familiar, faded brown, long. One pocket stitched closed with black thread. The lining is damp, glistening like it's been raining inside it for years. It drips silently, the water falling up from the hem and pooling along the top interior of the locker like reversed gravity. You reach in, touch the sleeve. It's warm. It pulses. You pull it free. As it leaves the locker, the rain follows. Streams of upward water curling like vines, lifting toward the ceiling light and vanishing before they hit it. The coat grows heavier in your hands. But you put it on, because you always do. Because every version of you has done this. The moment the collar touches your neck, the hallway shifts. The tiles beneath you ripple. A new scent blooms into the air. Dust and lilacs, typewriter ink, and burnt sugar. Behind you, the voice. You never asked what I wanted. You turn now, because you have to, because the hallway demands it. And she's there. Not a girl, not a ghost, just you. The you that stayed behind. The one who waited inside the locker while the clocks lied and the mirrors smiled and the glove curled tighter every time you walked away. She's barefoot, soaked, not from weather, from time. The rain that never fell outside is all inside her now, behind her eyes, in the seams of her sleeves, caught in the folds of her voice. She tilts her head. Her smile is wrong. Not cruel, not sad, just off, like it doesn't know what shape to take. You speak before you think. I thought you'd gone. She laughs. Water trickles upward from her lips. I did. You brought me back. She raises her hand. You see the suitcase. Not yours. Not the second one. A third. Unmarked. Unlatched. It drips steadily. Pooled rain leaking out of its seams. She nods toward it. This is what you left me with. It's filled with all the versions of you that ran. You try to move, but the floor grips your soles. The coat tightens across your shoulders. And now, you're dripping too. Water lifts from your fingertips, spinning slowly, forming symbols mid-air. Letters, one at a time. Your name, your real one. The one you don't speak anymore. The one only she remembers. The lights above flicker, then dim, then go out. But everything stays lit, by the rain, by the glow of the coat, by her eyes. You whisper, I'm sorry. She shrugs, the water inside her rises, and the locker behind her closes. Locks, then disappears. The hallway bends. She steps backward, into the fog, into the rain, into the loop, and vanishes, leaving behind the suitcase, still leaking, still warm, still breathing. It doesn't call to you, it doesn't shimmer or beckon, it's just there, waiting, embedded into the hallway wall where no mirror has ever been, where no mirror should be, too wide for the corridor, too tall for the space between the flickering lights. And yet it fits. Of course it fits. It's always fit. You stand in front of it, but it doesn't reflect. Not at first. Only static. Not moving. Just the idea of static. Texture without sound. Shimmer without light. A surface humming with all the versions of you that stood here before and failed to ask the right question. You reach out. The mirror doesn't flinch. Your fingers hover an inch from the surface. And in that gap, something opens. A crack. No, a mouth. Right at the center, where your reflection's lips should be. It parts slowly, without teeth, without sound. A yawning silence that feels older than you, older than the hallway, older than the loop, Inside that mouth, nothing. Not void, just distance. Memory. Then the mirror changes. You don't see yourself. You see her. The one you left behind in locker 12. The one who bled upward into the rain. She stands barefoot in the room behind the glass, holding the leaking suitcase by its handle. It doesn't drip now. It hums. She raises her eyes, meets yours, and the mirror breathes. Glass fogs outward. Words appear from inside. Ask it. You don't know what, but your mouth opens, and without thinking, without choosing, you whisper, "Did I make it out?" The fog clears. The mirror stares back. And then, for the first time, it answers. With you. But not now you. A version from before. From the day you first opened the locker and found the glove. This you stands alone, clutching the suitcase, smiling. But the smile is wrong. Too wide. Too sharp. And in the reflection's voice, you never left. You just closed your eyes. The mirror ripples. Now it shows the road. Empty. Looping. Rain falling upward and downward at once. Signs pointing in every direction and none. And then, your motel room. Room 333. Unlit. The bed untouched. The clock stuck at 3:33. No body, no breath, just you, in every space, but never whole. The mirror swirls again. Now, locker 12, open, empty, closed, open, occupied, closed, locked, open, repeating, like breath, like heartbeat, like footsteps. You watch yourself enter the locker. You watch yourself close the door. You watch yourself vanish. And then, silence. The mirror becomes still. A perfect pain. And your reflection returns. You look older, tired, but still there. Still you. You raise your hand. So does it. Fingers pressed together, and the mirror does something impossible. It feels. The surface bends, not shatters, not breaks, but stretches. A pressure against your palm, warm, real. You feel your reflection's fingers interlaced with your own. The glass trembles, then faintly. Take me back. Your heart stops, then restarts. You nod. I will. And the mirror opens. Not like a door, like an eye. The hallway around you fades. The fog thickens. And as you step through, the mirror hums softly, like a lullaby played backwards. In your own voice when you were too young to lie. It's heavier now, the suitcase. Not in weight, but in presence. As though something inside it is holding its breath, and has been for a long time. You carry it through a place that doesn't have walls anymore, just fog and pressure. The hallway is gone, or maybe you're walking through the inside of a paused moment. The space between inhale and exhale, where nothing moves unless you look away. You stop, set the suitcase down. Its size, not air, not sound, something deeper. The exhale of something unspoken, something remembered. You kneel, the latch is closed, but not locked. The keyhole is missing. There is no tag, only the faint outline of your handprint, pressed into the leather from all the times you held it before. You know this. This is the one you left behind. The first suitcase. The one that stayed closed. You touch the latch. It shivers. Your glove is gone again. Of course. Your hand feels colder now, exposed, but not afraid. You open the suitcase, and it breathes. A slow, steady rise from within, like lungs expanding into the space you left behind. You lean closer. Inside, darkness. Not empty, just unlit. The velvet interior undulates slightly, like waves beneath fabric. You don't see objects, you see shapes, folded clothes that don't belong to you, photographs that never developed, a cassette player with no speaker, a glove, its fingers curled inward like it's sleeping. You lift one item, a scarf, soft, frayed at the ends. It smells like the back of the motel closet, like the silence you wrapped yourself in when the road disappeared behind you. Under the scarf, a photograph of a door. Locker 12, closed. Taped to the back of the photo, a note, typed. Inside is outside. The end was folded inward. Please return what you borrowed. The suitcase hums again. You realize it's not breathing on its own. It's matching you. Every inhale, every exhale. It is you. You reach deeper. Fingertips brush paper. No. Skin. Warm. Soft. Familiar. You pause. Pull back. A breath escapes the suitcase. Not a hiss. A sigh. And then, faintly, your voice. Miss, please. You lean in. The suitcase speaks, not aloud, just into you. You packed me with everything you wanted to forget. You reach in again. This time you find it. A mirror. Small. Cracked. Your face in it. But younger. Afraid. Your mouth opens, so does the reflections, but it speaks first. I held it all for you. The suitcase pulses. You feel something lift from behind your sternum, from your spine, from all the places you kept your panic folded in half, like a childhood letter. You lower the mirror, close the suitcase. It clicks shut. You rise. You don't carry it this time. It follows. Not dragged, not floating, just attached. As though breath has a weight you can only feel once you've been reminded of it. You walk forward, through fog, toward light, toward the hum of Locker 12. And from the suitcase, your own heartbeat follows, not echoing, but answering. It begins behind your eyes, the low hum, the pressure, the buzz that isn't a sound, but a state of being. You blink, and the fog around you pulses, not in response, but in recognition. You don't walk anymore, you drift. The suitcase at your side doesn't move. It hovers in sync, bound to you by something deeper than memory. And then the static comes, fully. Not from the ceiling, not from the floor, from you. It rises through your spine like smoke through old wallpaper, curling behind your eyes, whispering from your fingertips. A signal. A language you're only just beginning to remember. You speak, or try to. Your mouth opens and your breath crackles. A vowel escapes, fractured and frayed. The fog responds with warmth. The hallway reforms around you, piece by piece. Lockers emerging from mist like ribs of a beast too large to name. The numbers are all wrong. Upside down, reversed, counting inward instead of forward. You place your hand on the nearest door. It twitches beneath your palm. A jolt of static races up your arm, kisses the inside of your elbow, settles behind your ear, and from within the locker, a recording plays. Your voice. But not from before. Not a loop. A broadcast. Live. This is what forgetting looks like. This is what I became. I am not trapped. It's tuned. The sound cuts out, but the feeling lingers. Each breath now emerges from you with a soft hiss, like air escaping a cassette left too long in the sun. You realize then, you're no longer walking through a hallway. You're walking through yourself. The walls are your memories. The floor is your spine. The flickering lights overhead are the thoughts you keep misplacing in sleep. And you've become the static that bound it all together. The suitcase hums, now perfectly in sync with your steps. A third heartbeat. Behind you, another locker opens. No sound, no latch, just surrender. Inside, the mirror, cracked, silent. It doesn't show your reflection. It shows her, still soaked, still barefoot, still waiting. But she's not behind glass now. She's in the hallway with you, watching. You stop, so does she. The fog curls between you like dialogue. You speak again. This time the static flows gently with your breath. Did we become the echo? She nods. Her mouth opens. And from it, your voice. Yes, but you were always the transmission. The noise came later. You close your eyes, and everything flickers. The floor tilts, the lockers vanish, the mirror remains. Only now, it's part of you, set into your chest. A circular pane, still cracked, still listening, and through it others begin to watch. Versions, reflections, possibilities. One cries, one laughs, one turns and walks away. But all of them know you are the broadcast now, the signal, the message buried in the static between dreams. You open your mouth, and the hallway hums, soft, low, infinite. It's in your hand, the photograph. You don't remember picking it up, but there it is, thin, old, slightly curled at the corners. The kind of photo that smells like dust and ink and the inside of a drawer no one dares open anymore. You turn it over without looking. The back is blank. No date, no name, no note. But it feels like one. A message you left for yourself before you forgot how to write it. You inhale. The photo grows warmer. And finally, you look. It shows you. Not a reflection. Not a memory. You in the next moment. Standing exactly where you are. Same hallway. Same fog. But your face is turned. Your eyes wide. Your mouth just beginning to open. As though you've just seen something. You lower the photo. Nothing has changed. Yet. But the air grows still. Like the second before lightning. like a breath that won't leave your chest. You look back at the photo now. It's changed. Your face is different, blurry, smudged by motion. You're turning, faster. A blur of coat, a flash of eye. You stare at the paper as though it can explain itself. And then, from behind you, a flicker of movement. Slow, too slow, like something stretching across dimensions. You don't turn, not yet. The photograph pulses in your hand. The hallway hums louder. A high-pitched ringing that feels like pressure behind your eyes. You fold the photo and slide it into your coat. The moment you do, you feel it. A presence, not behind you, beside you, matching your stride, breathing in rhythm. But when you glance, there's nothing there. Only fog, only suggestion, but it breathes. The suitcase at your side begins to rattle, softly, almost excitedly, as if it knows what's coming, as if it's been waiting to open at exactly the right moment. You stop walking, the air tightens. From behind your ribs, a vibration, low, mechanical. A projector flickers on somewhere above your shoulder, casting light through the fog ahead. And there, on the mist, is your silhouette, projected, walking forward, alone. And then, a second silhouette joins it, yours, again. But not now you. Another version, carrying the suitcase, holding the photograph. You blink, the image shifts. Now the two figures stand still, facing each other. Then one raises a hand, touches the other's face, and both dissolve into light. You step forward. The fog pulls away like theatre curtains. And there, just ahead, is another photograph, floating, spinning gently in place. You take it, this one is blank, until you blink. Then the image forms. Locker 12, open, your name scratched inside. But beneath it, a new line, handwritten. This is the only door that opens both ways. The photo warms in your hand. The hallway flickers, lockers vanish, then return, in new shapes, wrong shapes. The walls curve inward, time folds, and through the fog, you see yourself, walking into the next moment, already holding the next photo, already knowing what you've seen. You smile, you keep walking, and the hallway accepts it, because the loop is always hungrier than the path. The suitcase is no longer just luggage. It's a living thing, not in the way a clock ticks or a radio hums, but in the way breath moves through a quiet room, the soft rising and falling of absence. You set it down carefully, the leather ripples beneath your palms like skin. You don't open it. You don't have to. Because it speaks. Not in words, but in pressure. A pulse, slow and rhythmic, matching your heartbeat yet somehow older. Older than you. You place your ear against the case. The sound inside is not hollow, not silence. It's waiting, a breathing waiting. You reach inside the handle, your fingers find warmth, a beat, 2 beats, a whispered promise. The suitcase sighs softly, and in that breath you hear a name, not yours, not hers, something ancient, something that slipped through cracks of memory. You withdraw your hand slowly. The suitcase hums with satisfaction. You carry it again, but the weight has shifted. It's lighter, not by pounds, by meaning. You walk forward, the hallway bends around you, the fog dances higher, the lockers lean closer. They whisper, not your name, but other names, names you don't recognize, but remember, from dreams you never lived. You pass locker 12. It stands shut, but its breath is visible. A soft mist that curls upward like a question. You stop. The suitcase pulses. You place it gently before the locker. It hums louder, then opens, slowly, without a sound. Inside, a mirror, framed in worn leather matching the suitcase. You pick it up. Your reflection stares back, but it blinks, once, slowly, and then smiles. Not cruel, not kind, just knowing. The suitcase vibrates softly. You tuck the mirror inside, close the locker. The door sighs shut. The hallway waits. You keep walking, because you are carrying more than a suitcase. You are carrying a secret. One that breathes, one that waits, and one that will never be left behind again. The ticking has stopped. Or maybe it never really started. The hallway is quiet now, but it isn't silent. It hums with a presence just beneath perception, a rhythm that isn't time, but something older, something that curls and folds and tightens like the hands of a clock that refuses to move forward. You stand still. The suitcase rests at your feet, warm and waiting. The light overhead flickers, then steadies. 3:33. Always 3:33. The numbers glow faintly on the cracked clock face hanging crooked from the ceiling. You look up. The hands curl inward, not counting seconds, counting spirals. Inside your chest, the pulse matches, slow, unyielding. You reach out. The clock's face ripples. A voice, soft and distant, whispers. Time is a circle, and you are its edge. You step forward. The floor beneath you shifts, not away, not forward, inward. You are walking into yourself, into memory folded over memory, into the space between breath and silence. The glove tightens. Your hand fits perfectly inside it. You close your eyes, and you feel the clock's mouth open, not to devour, but to speak. A lullaby backward and forward. A promise not kept. A secret kept too long. You open your eyes. The hallway is gone. Only the clock remains, ticking softly, inwards, always inwards, and you are still moving, not forward, not backward, but deeper, into the loop, into the waiting, into the last breath. The hallway fades, not abruptly, not like lights cutting out, but slowly, like a sigh held too long and finally released. The fog settles softly, settling around your ankles like a farewell. Your glove tightens one last time, not on your hand, beside it, hovering, waiting. You reach out, it doesn't move, but you feel it. Cold, soft, and familiar. You pick it up, not to wear, but to hold. A final tether. The suitcase hums low beneath your feet. The lockers whisper names you don't quite remember. The clock ticks one last time. 3:33. The hands curl inward, and the hallway breathes. You exhale, and the glove presses into your palm. Not a glove anymore, but a promise, a memory, a loop closing gently on itself. You walk forward, toward the fading light, toward the quiet, toward sleep. And as the glove warms against your skin, you hear one last whisper. Not from the hallway, not from the mirror, not from the clock, but from within yourself. Welcome home. You drift, no longer held by story or shape or voice. Only sleep remains, and silence, waiting. The hallway dissolves beneath you, folding into a soft darkness that cradles your breath and slows your heartbeat until it is nothing but a memory. The glove rests beside you now, warm and empty. The suitcase has vanished. The clock ticks no more. Your reflection is everywhere and nowhere. You float between moments, between echoes, between waking and forgetting. The road has ended, or maybe it just loops again, somewhere far away. But here, there is only stillness. You close your eyes, and the silence welcomes you. You drift, no longer held by story or shape or voice. Only sleep remains, and silence, waiting. The hallway dissolves beneath you, folding into a soft darkness that cradles your breath and slows your heartbeat until it is nothing but a memory. The glove rests beside you now, warm and empty. The suitcase has vanished. The clock ticks no more. Your reflection is everywhere and nowhere. You float between moments, between echoes, between waking and forgetting. The road is ended, or maybe it just loops again somewhere far away. But here, there is only stillness. You close your eyes, and the silence welcomes you. End of script. Sweet dreams.